Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Anchor the Light. So the question is always, why is it easier to do dumb things than it is to do good things? Right? I was reading this Chinese proverb and meditating on it. Virtue travels uphill, while vice travels downhill. Uphill means, since there's this thing called gravity, right? Virtue, to do something good, it takes effort, and to do stupid things, for most of us, not much work. So the question is why? For some of you who are just joining us, thank you for joining us. We want to share spiritual teachings and also meditate together. So why is it easier to do dumb things, stupid things? For example, we have the 5 virtues, which I've shared with you that was taught with me by our teacher, Grandmaster Twakok Sui of Pranic Healing Arhatic Yoga. Loving kindness, non-injury. Generosity, non-stealing. Honesty and non-lying. Constancy of aim and effort and non-laziness. And moderation, non-excessiveness. So why is it that it's easier to be injurious? For example, somebody hurt our feelings. For most of us, it's easier to just scream back, yell back, rather than, okay, I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to think good thoughts. I'm going to feel good feelings, and I'll forgive the person. For most of us, unless you're just a born, enlightened being, for most of us, it takes work to be a good person, right? Same thing when it comes to money, possessions. There's a part of us that's easier to accumulate than to give things away. And let's say there's, you're walking down the street, there's a pile of money sitting there, and you're going, that's not mine, but it's easier than just take it than not. Rather than saying, hey, let me take it to some place that they can have it given to rightful owner. Okay, I was told that that some platforms are not showing, so let me just double check. 1 second. I apologize. Sometimes there's a little glitch. So let me make sure this thing is working. If you don't mind waiting for me, let's see. Oh, okay. All the destinations should be working, supposedly. Let me check. Yeah, for whatever reason, YouTube is kind of glitching. So if you guys don't mind, let me just double check, make sure it's working. Sometimes a little bit of technical stuff here. Usually everything's automated, supposedly. Yeah. So I don't know. Whatever the glitch is, may it be healed. All right. Anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. So why is it that for most of us it's easier to just do something that is unwholesome? You say, well, I'm not like that. It's not that easy. Let me just talk about it. You don't have to teach a child to lie. True? In fact, children, when they're being educated, are being taught things. Hey, you should do this, not do that. And oftentimes we start with don't do this and don't do that. Hey, don't touch that, it will burn you. Okay, don't take that what's not yours. Tell me the truth, don't lie. In fact, it's interesting that in the Bible, if you look at the 10 Commandments, it's like 70-80% don't. Thou shalt not have any gods before me. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not covet other people's things. Do not, this thing's your neighbor. Then thou shalt not covet their neighbor's wife. And so on and so on. Everything's don't. Notice that? In the Old Testament, it's like don't do this. Humanity is young. In the New Testament, the Lord Jesus said, okay, you guys have, matured a little bit. Instead of don't, do. So it's just like the virtues. Loving kindness, non-injury. Don't injure people with your thoughts, words, and actions. And be kind with your thoughts, words, and actions. Why is it that it's easier to not be a good person? Right? If you're completely honest, right? Here's the good news. By understanding why, it becomes easier to be a good person. So let's break it down. If I ask you to move your body, you move your body like this, right? What did you move? Your body. I said, I move my body. Who or what movie is that? I did. Feel a certain feeling, any feeling you like, happiness, joy, anger, resentment, whatever. What are you doing? I'm feeling the emotion. Who's doing the feeling or creating the feeling? He said, I did. Think of a thought, a car, a house, a boat. What are you doing? I'm thinking of these things which are thoughts. Who's the thinker? I am. So the question is, who is the thinker, the feeler, and doer? He said, I am. And to oversimplify this, I know a lot of you have studied with me for a while, that's the soul, the spiritual self. Now the soul is called anima. Anima is Italian. Sanskrit is atma. In Spanish, it's alma. But the Italian one is quite descriptive. Anima, where the word animate comes from. I am moving my body. I animated my body. Make sense? I animated my feelings. I did something to create these feelings or amplify it or decrease it. I'm thinking means I use the thinking faculty to create thoughts. In all three instances, I'm not the body, I'm not emotion, I'm not thoughts. I'm not what I'm moving, creating either thoughts or feelings. Now, there lies the secret. Because each of these instruments that we're using, the soul is using, has its own natural tendencies. For example, the physical body. What is the natural tendency of the physical body? What does the body want? If you have your body have whatever it wants. It wants food, it wants air, it wants sex, it wants pleasure, it wants everything that gratifies its primal needs. That's the physical body. I mean, that's one of the reasons why yogis do fasting. Not because, they want to lose weight, to detox, maybe that's part of it, but the deeper spiritual reason why yogis or people in the spiritual path fast is to tell the body who is boss. The body wants to eat at a certain time. The body wants to experience certain things. He said, nope, you're not going to have it. So for this amount of time, you're not having it. And if you're Catholic, during Lent, right? We are supposed to abstain from meat, abstain from a bunch of other stuff. And some that are more strict, abstain from sex, abstain from whatever sweets. It depends on which tradition you come from. And I remember my teacher used to say, because I thought it was just to punish us, he said, no. The purpose of abstinence is so that the soul can control the mind, the intellectual faculty, and the emotional faculty. Because those are the ones that we want certain foods. Of course, the body's the one experiencing it too. So, abstinence is giving the soul, the I, the real I, an opportunity to say, I control these tendencies. Now, what's it got to do with doing good? It's very simple. You see, if you remove the tendencies of what the body wants, I'll get to the feelings and the thoughts, the spiritual self has no desires. Let me explain. Okay, we talk about the tendencies or the needs of the body. What are the needs of the emotions? Extreme highs, extreme lows. Right? When a person is very emotional, they need to experience, intense love too. Oh man, extreme emotional pain. And suddenly, everything's doing well. So this intense up and down is what gives the emotional faculty, the emotional body, actually what's called the astral body, its fulfillment. That's why if you have relationships where one person is emotionally polarized and the other person is more mentally polarized, they fight. Then at some point when there's no more fight, when things are quiet, no more arguments and fights, the person who's very, very mental, finally, no more emotional roller coaster. The person who's more emotional says, I agree. Peace and quiet. Then, over a extended period of peace and quiet, the person who's more emotional will go, this is boring. Nothing is happening. Life is so stale. It needs that stimulus. Make sense? That's the nature of the emotions. That's why if you're writing movies, script for movies, You don't want to write a movie that's happy from start to finish or sad from start to finish. You need that conflict. That conflict, that highs and lows, is what takes the audience who are emotionally tuned. If you're in sales, you already know this. People buy emotionally and rationalize intellectually. Because for most people in the general public, they're not even aware that the emotions is something they created. They just feel it. They don't realize, oh, I choose to create it. So you want to move a big group of people? You don't take their head off. You don't just tell them everything. They're going to look at you like, whatever. But if you make them feel, get them all stirred up emotionally, even though they don't know what you're talking about, you get them stirred up. Yeah, man. That's it. You move a crowd. I remember many years ago, this is 20 some years ago or longer, when there was the LA riots. I was watching TV. Remember Rodney King? You know, he was abused and everything. So there's a big riot in LA. You remember that, right? I was watching TV and I'm going, these people, the people who are doing looting, people are angry and upset. And I remember they're in, what's wrong? Why are you doing this? Oh man, we're so pissed off. And because Don King was abused and so on and so on. I'm going, wait, Don King's the guy with the fiery hair, you know, Mike Tyson's manager at that time. They're not even the right guy. But for them, it doesn't matter. They got caught up with emotion. So you want to move people? Use the emotional body. I remember Tony Robbins a few years ago told me, he said, you know, about connecting to the audience. He says, people will not remember what you tell them. They will remember how you made them feel. Because most people basically work or interact with the world through feelings. Okay? It's not good or bad. Just hear me out. The tendency of the emotion is what? Ups and downs. Drama. The physical body, primal stuff. Food, sex. You know, something that gratifies the body. How about the intellectual faculty? The intellectual faculty needs stimulation. Not emotional stimulation, but stimulation of data, information. They constantly want to take information, chop it down, break it apart, study it, go deeper and deeper. And then they're not even done with that. Let's pick another topic. Let's think this. No, they're not done. That's why people always say, oh, I cannot stop my mind. I overthink everything. Sounds familiar? So people don't realize even the thinking process is a process where there's a thinker using a certain instrument or machine to create thoughts. So when a person is controlled by their intellect, what happens? They overthink. And the more they overthink, too much data they cannot process, they get confused. That's the nature of the intellectual faculty. Now, most people call it the mind, and many times I also use the mind, but to be very technical, the mind actually is composed of the tendencies of the body, the emotions, and the thoughts. But for now, we'll just say that's the mind, the intellectual faculty. All right, so first question we started with is, why is it so easy to do bad things than compared to do good things? Because most people do not have the physical, emotional, and mental instruments trained. And the metaphor we always use is, just imagine these are 3 horses. First horse is the physical body. Second horse is the emotional body, or what is oftentimes called the astral body. The third horse is called the mental body. It's just like if you have 3 horses, you saddle up, you have a chariot. If those are not trained, you'd be going like that. True? They're not trained. And for most people, they're not even aware they're not the body. They're not even aware they're not the emotion or the thoughts. So it won't even cross their mind, I have to train the body, the emotions, thought. It won't even cross your mind. Because most people identify themselves as the body, the feelings, and thoughts. Now, when you do meditation, when you're in deep prayer time, what happens? You shut all the stimuli from the outside. no sounds, no smells. You try to keep the emotions as quiet as possible, no thoughts, and you go, wow, that's so peaceful and still. What are you trying to do? You're trying to temporarily mute any data coming from the instrument of the body, the feelings and thoughts. And when those are not there, what happens? Silence and stillness. And you also remember, every time, just immediately after deep meditation, none of your vices, desires are so strong. Anything from smoking to drinking to love doing something or having to go somewhere, all of those are like at bay. You know why? Because at that time, we are experiencing freedom from any influence from the body, the emotions, and thoughts. So the solution is quite simple. To make it easier to be a good person, you first have to, step one, know who I am, who you are, what you are, right? What I am. So I'm the spiritual self, the soul, not the body, not the emotional thoughts. What am I? I'm the spiritual self, the soul, not the body, the emotions, and thoughts. I control the body, emotions, and thoughts. You're basically saying, hey, I'm the boss. You are the three horses. I know you want to run this way, you want to run that way, you want to run this. Not going to happen. You're going to go this direction. You're going to go this direction. You're going to do this direction. So when you get on the path of regulating the body, the emotions, and thoughts, that's what you call the spiritual path. Because you are a spiritual being, realizing in not anything material, emotional, mental, and you, the spirit, will control these three instruments. And then from there you go, principle of oneness, which is connected to this law called the law of karma. And you go, oh, here you go. I knew it's going to come up sometime. Yeah, you can't get away from it. Good luck if you don't think so. Some people say, oh, I don't believe in that karma stuff. Who cares what you believe? It's not an opinion. It's a law. Whatever you throw out will smack you in the face. So if you're smart, you go, there's this thing called law of karma. Whatever I throw out will hit me back. Now, why is that the case? You see, when you strip away the body, the emotions, and thought, what's left is a spiritual self, which is non-material, intangible, but has consciousness. It radiates in every direction. That's why after, during deep meditation, some of you go, strange, I don't feel my butt in the chair. I almost feel like I can sense the I, myself, not just here, but over extended period, place, extended distance. And sometimes you go, how come I feel so connected to everyone and everything? That is bizarre. So just imagine, when you don't have that physical, emotional, mental shell, what's left is a being that has consciousness that radiates energy everywhere. The closest thing we have of that is light. Light radiates in every direction, can carry information, and cannot be weighed. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's called enlightenment. Enlightenment is realization that you're not the body and emotions and thoughts, you're a spiritual being of light. Well, if you're one, so is the next guy, so is the next guy, so is the next guy. Every living being is a being of light. So if you take off the shell, what do you have? Light radiating everywhere, and the light intersects and merges. That's what you call oneness. Now, what's that got to do with law of karma? It's obvious. Without oneness, there's no karma. Okay, write this down. Without the principle of oneness, there's no karma. It's just like without a law that regulates and controls you and me, I can do whatever I like. You can do whatever you like. No consequences. It's because there's this law within the land that controls both of us. Now, universally, there's this law called the law of karma. Since we're all beings that are interconnected, that law controls all of us. So whatever I do to you will hit me back. That's where the law of karma comes from. Because we're interconnected and our opinions don't matter. I don't believe in it. Who cares? Now, here's the beautiful thing. Let's put it all together. the soul learns through trial and error. That's one way. Or the smart ones say, I'll learn it from somebody else's error. So trial and error would be, if I hurt someone physically, emotionally, or mentally over and over again, by this law, it comes back to me. Well, maybe I shouldn't do that. Every time I'm kind to someone, people will be kind to me. At some point, it's a learned response. I do stupid things come back to me. I do good things come back to me. Ta-da! So just imagine, when we realize this, we are simultaneously training the body, the emotions, and thoughts. So, the simple part is, if we're hurtful with our words towards someone, now you realize, in order to be hurtful with our words, we have to think of the words we're going to say, we have to feel the negative feeling, and we have to move the body to create the sound to hurt that person's feelings, right? Or typing to an email. So at that point in time, we are basically training the body, the emotions, and thoughts to be hurtful. It's like you're telling the horse, go here, go here, go here. But since we already learned it, that has negative consequences. Let me change it a little bit. Let me think. I'm going to use kind words. I'm going to have kind feelings. And I'm going to have gestures of kindness. Guess what you're doing? You're making the mind or the mental faculty, the emotional faculty, and the physical faculty, or the three horses to say, do this. You do that enough times over and over and over again, you are now training the horses. Same thing, money. If we steal, compared to we don't steal and we're generous. So as we follow the spiritual teachings, the virtues taught by teachers, spiritual teachers, guess what's happening? You're training the horses. So it's an uphill climb to be a virtuous person, because you have to train the horses one after the other. Do this, don't do this, don't do that, right? And from our stupid experiences, we go, okay, don't do that anymore. And then if you have good teachers, the teachers say, okay, practice loving kindness. Okay, don't steal. Be generous. So instead of us having to learn those two painful experiences, whoever our spiritual teachers are, just say, do this. So you save yourself lifetimes of pain. So practicing the virtue, it's still uphill, but it's not so steep. That's it. That's the science of doing good. Doing your spiritual practice so you can isolate what is the I and what's not the I. And once you experience you are the I, you experience this oneness with all. You have good teachers to study with. So instead of taking who knows how many stupid lifetimes of pain, it's less time, and the virtues are easier to practice because it becomes part of who we are. We've trained the horses, the intellect, the emotions, and the body. So you go, all right, we're going to go there. You don't have to do this anymore because the horses are trained. So you won't feel like uphill anymore. You feel easy. Regardless of your religion. That's that. It's called the science of doing good. Let's meditate. Beware of your crown. I am that. I'm not the body. I'm not the emotions. I'm not the thoughts. I am the spiritual self, the soul, that controls the body, the emotions, and the thoughts. I am that, the soul, the spiritual self. The thinker, the feeler, and doer. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence to regulate my intellect, a spiritual being of divine love to regulate my feelings and emotions, a spiritual being of divine power to regulate the actions and movements of this physical body. I am that, the soul, the spiritual self. Be still. I am connected in one to my higher soul. I am connected in one to the divine spirit in me. I am a child of God, meaning we're still growing and evolving. We're going to screw up a bunch of times, but we keep going. I'm one with God. That's where I come from. That's where we all come from. We're one with God, and we're one with all. And so it is. Just be still. We are one. There's only oneness. Now open your hands in blessing. We'll do the meditation, the great invocation, a powerful prayer to bless the entire earth with divine intelligence, divine love, divine power. Remember, there's three aspects of us: the ability to think, the ability to feel, the ability to act. When you do the great invocation, we're asking the blessings of higher intelligence, higher love, and higher power to flow through us so it will activate the virtuous side of us, the goodness in thinking, feeling, and doing. All right? So open your hands like this. Imagine the earth in front of you, the size of a little ball. Just say we are one. Our hearts are one, our souls are one, there's only oneness. Now imagine all of us are inside the sun, looking out into the solar system, collectively project a brilliant beam of light from the sun, filling up the entire earth. Let us all chant Om to open up the energy portal. Chant verbally. Om, Om, Om. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all beings. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all beings. Let love descend throughout the entire earth. May God's messenger of love return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the wills of all beings, the purpose which the Holy Masters and spiritual hierarchy know and serve. Let goodwill and the willingness to do good descend throughout the entire earth. From the center, which we call the human race and all other races, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power descend throughout the entire earth. Let light, love, and power restore and manifest the divine plan on earth now. So be it. So be it. Be still. Once more. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of all beings. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all beings. Let love descend throughout the entire earth. May God's messenger of love return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the wills of all beings, the purpose which the Holy Masters and spiritual hierarchy know and serve. Let goodwill and the will to do good descend throughout the entire earth. So be it. From the center, which we call the human race and all the other races, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where any evil dwells. Let light, love, and power descend throughout the entire earth. Let light, love, and power restore and manifest the divine plan on earth now. So be it. Be still. Continue blessing the earth with intense light. For the third great invocation, imagine a brilliant light like a miniature sun just floating above your head. Be aware of that brilliant light. Put your entire awareness and attention in that brilliant light. You are that light. Be still. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth in the minds of all beings. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all beings. Let love descend toward the entire earth. May the avatar of love return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the wills of all beings, the purpose which the holy masters and spiritual hierarchy know and serve. Let goodwill and the willingness to do good descend throughout the entire earth. So be it. From the center, which we call all the races, let the plan of love and light work out. May it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light, love, and power descend toward the entire earth. Let light, love, and power restore and manifest the divine plan on earth now. So be it. Be still. Om. 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 Now lower your hands. Maintain your awareness on that brilliant light above your head. Be still. You're not the body, you're not the emotion or the thought. You are the soul, the spiritual self that inhabits the body, the emotions, and thoughts. That is your true nature. You are the soul, the spiritual self. You are connected in one to your higher soul. You're connected in one to the divine spirit in you. You're one with God, you're one with all. Be still. gently, slowly, very gently and slowly. Move your fingers, move your toes. Gently and slowly come back. Okay, raise your hands again. Let's use the excess energies our bodies cannot absorb. Picture the people we love, fill them with golden light. May all of them be blessed with good health, with much happiness, with abundance and prosperity and spiritual oneness. Blessings be to all. Think of the people who have been kind to you, who have been good to you, who has helped you to become who you are. May all of them be blessed with divine light. So be it. Blessings to all. Now be aware of your feet, the base of your spine. Project golden light down into the earth. Fill the earth below you with golden light. Let our beloved Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, love, and power. Let our beloved Mother Earth be healed, regenerated, and revitalized. So be it. So be it, and so it is. Okay, let's give thanks to the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Mother. Thank you. To all the spiritual elders, holy masters, to all the saints of all traditions, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. Thank you. In full faith, and so it is. All right. So if I ask you right now, how are your desires for anything? Everything from food to whatever, anything. Most of you will say, nothing, blank, zero. See, at this point in time, in this state of stillness, you are very, very clearly and distinctly aware that you're not the body, the emotions, and thoughts. The byproduct of that is control. Now I want to move my body to do this. I'm going to create these feelings. I'm going to create these thoughts. And the longer you do these meditations and the more often you do it, the more you realize who you really are. Now, when a certain circumstance comes up, let's say a temptation comes up, temptation to just scream at someone, you will notice that the inertia is not moving in that direction anymore. Where before it's so much easier, now it's like, wow, this person is insulting me, yet, I feel a little discomfort, but I don't have this immediate response or reaction to do something back. Or you start noticing, hey, you used to like to have this food and this, so that's not good for you. You look at it like, yeah, this is good food, whatever. But at the same time, you go, I can regulate myself. Then it becomes easier and easier to practice the virtues. So for most people, virtue travels uphill, vice travels downhill. Easier to do stupid things, creates more effort, takes more effort to do good things. But as you do your spiritual practice, the thing turns around. Not bad, right? The key is to understand who is thinking, feeling, and doing. From there, it gets easier. We just have to keep reminding ourselves through these meditations and spiritual lessons. All right, so before we let you go, just a quick reminder, the 3 most powerful full moons are coming up. Actually, we're having the first one this Saturday, Easter Festival, Saturday, April 12th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, okay? And then we'll subsequently put the links up. It's not going to be online. It's not going to be in social media. It's not going to be in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, none of these, because they censor. I can't tell you how many times that I had to, ask for things to be removed. Like TikTok once time banned me because certain words I said were harmful. I didn't even say anything bad. Oh, and then Instagram said I was doing some copyright infringement with my songs. I'm not singing. I'm not using any music. But you see, sometimes the algorithm picks up certain things up. So for these critical meditations and lectures, we don't have it on social media. But I will post, it's free. You can join us anytime, the links to it. All right? We'll post that first thing tomorrow. So namaste, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. And thank you for allowing me to serve all of you. And please leave your comments and share this with as many people as possible. As more and more people meditate and do their spiritual work, guess what happens? More spiritual light gets anchored to the world. It's easier for the entire planet to do good things. Okay? Namaste, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next Anchor the Light.